Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, everyone, everywhere, depending on where and when you are joining Africa Online. Well, this is the first day and the first Sunday of February, and we all know what that means. February represents love, Valentine's Day. It also represents Black History Month as well. And I'm sure if we dig a little harder, we'll find some other things that February is famous for. But these are the two that they're most famous for. Today, we're going to talk about African Americans and inventions. Hold on to your hats because I think some of them might be a real shocker for you. But we encourage you to do a little investigating and find out what your people have created so that you can have the same similar proudness. Nia Sun, down here where I am, I haven't been to the door yet, but the sun is shining bright. The trees or the branches are not blowing. So I'm assuming it's a pretty decent day. Now, yesterday it was Philly cold down here. But we didn't get no snow like other parts of Georgia did. What's it looking like in your neck of the wood? At this time, I'm going to turn it over to my partner and co-host, Professor Nia Sung, to give you the editorial of the day. How are you, my brother? What's
Fine,
going on
thank
up
you.
there?
Fine, thank you. Here in Maryland, the snow that fell last or at the beginning of last week or at the end of last week is still on the ground. It's thick. I tried to dig some, no way. I needed a diggers to be able to get something done. But it is 26 degrees now, right now as I'm talking, and they're promising that it's going to get colder as we go into the evening. Well, we're indoors. Luckily, we have some heat, so we are warm. We are doing our best, and we're welcoming February with all joy because we know that it's getting us closer to that time when that animal comes up and then tells us a story. I will refer to him or her when I get there. So February is the second month of the year in both the Gregorian and the Julian calendars. And with a total of 28 days in common years, it is the shortest month of the year, every year, whatever. Sometimes it's 29 days, but generally it's 28 days. February derives its name from the Latin Februaris mensis, meaning month of purification. That name traces back to February, an ancient Roman festival involving such purification rites as spiritual cleansing, purification, and renewal. We learn that its historical importance is as a period of transition and renewal and endured because reminding us of ancient traditions of purification and preparation for the coming season, spring. Yes. Today, Sunday, February 1st, is the 32nd day of the year. That leaves us with exactly 333, that is 333 days in 2026. Today is the fifth Sunday of 2026 and the 43rd day of winter. And so, no matter how we, and no matter what the groundhog may say when he or she comes out, either tonight or some other day soon this week, we still have 47 days of winter. So no matter what happens, the calendar tells us that we still have 47 days of winter. As February, the second month of the year, as Ambassador Lisa said, begins, we remember that it is National Freedom Day today, observed every year on February 1st in the United States because on this day in 1865, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president of these United States, signed a joint resolution by the House and Senate that proposed the abolition of slavery. This was later added as the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution on December 6, 1865. National Freedom Day marks the first day of Black History Month, which is observed throughout February. It is not a public holiday, so businesses follow normal working hours. Our minds are, however, turned to what has become traditional in these United States of America as we zero in on Black or African American History Month. Why does it last a whole month, even if the month is the shortest on the calendar? And what are some of the high points of this important historical moment? AfricaOnline Media Corporation on this Sunday, February 1st, invites all of us to reminisce and to share our thoughts on this three-part discussion of Black history. What is it that we need to know and be able to do to fully raise awareness about Black history in general and African American history in particular? What must we do to keep the flame alight and to ensure that nothing is swept under the rug in a country where some think that mine is right or that my way or no way at all? With the theme, a century of Black history commemorations, starting this February 1st, 2026, that is, let us collectively share knowledge and celebrate 100 years of history, starting with a tribute to Black inventors, known and unknown. The chair of AfricaOnline Media Corporation, Reverend Palm, is on standby. She will not be showing her face, I believe, and she will welcome us to this discussion on this first day of February. We have 27 days left for the month. Yeah, it's a short month. So, Reverend Pam, are you with us?
Always. Thank you so much, Nia Song, Ambassador Lisa, Dr. Crossley, Sister Debbie McCormick. Yes, this is a special month, even though it's the shortest month of the year, but we appreciate it. And I want to encourage everybody, whether you are Black or not, to go online and acquaint yourself with just 3 Black inventors. I'm sharing my screen with Black inventors whose inventions changed the world. And I also put a list of Black inventors in the chat box. I'll put a list of this one too, the link. Go ahead and educate yourself. Not all of them are online. There are some that are unsung heroes. Without the movie, was it Color Figures? We would not have known, a lot of people would not have known the contributions of the Black women to the America's successful launch of the space shuttle. You know, the mathematician. Without that movie, a lot of people would not have known. You know, we don't have to wait for Hollywood or Nollywood to do a movie about Black inventors, and they don't need to just be African American inventors. So long as you're an African descendant, your invention counts. A lot of people drive, they don't know that the traffic light was a courtesy of a Black person. Do you know how many lives have been saved by the traffic light? So here's just a few of them. I'm not going to read them because they are online. I want to welcome all our viewers, those who are watching live on YouTube and those who are going to be watching on Facebook, to the program. This month is a special month, and let's delve into Black History Month and Black inventors. Over to you, Ambassador Lisa.
Thank you, Dr. Pam, for the contributions that we all will share today. As she mentioned earlier, we wouldn't know how we played a part in NASA and men getting into outer space if we did not have the movie Hidden Figures. The same as with 6888. I watched it again with my sister while we're down here. She hadn't seen it. And if not for the contribution of those strong Black women, because I tell you, nowhere in the world I would have made it in this women's army where the lighter hue governors and generals and stuff were talking to those women the way they were, but they moved 70 million pieces of mail in the horriblest conditions. They were given 6 months to clear up that backlog. and they did it in 90 days, was able to find where the mail was supposed to go to, and the mail that was going out back to parents at home, they were able to find those, and people were able to get their correspondence back and forth. It was a tremendous effort, and we thank Tyler Perry for finding that history and producing that movie so that now we know that more things than what we already know. Black history always consists of things like Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, and George Washington Carver when I was growing up in school. But there are so many other things that we have done. And speaking of February, it was the Egyptians who are Black and beautiful. They created the first 365-day calendar with 12 months. It was later changed by the Romans because now we have a Gregorian calendar. We still have a Hebrew calendar, which has different times and dates. But it was the Egyptians who created the calendar first. There was something very important that I wanted to share. And I always wondered why February had only 28 days as opposed to the others who have 30 and 31. And it says that the Romans the Romans were superstitious and they did not want months that had even days. And that was rather they believed even days were unlucky. So they feared them. So they made a 355-day calendar after the Egyptians had created the 365-day calendar. Also, if you've ever wondered why Black History Month is in February, anybody here ever wondered why Black History Month was February?
Well,
Nelson?
before the answer, Ambassador Lisa, thank you so much for the correction. It is hidden figures, not colored figures. I was thinking about the movie for colored girls. So
Oh,
thank you for that correction.
mhm.
I just wanted to correct that. It's the movie Hidden Figures, which I watched multiple times. And Ambassador
Mhm.
Lisa, yes, I watched the 666 with Kerry Washington did an amazing
Yes,
job. I've
she
forgotten the
did
other
an
young ladies.
amazing.
I've forgotten the
It,
other young lady's name, but yes, thank you. I just wanted
yes,
to correct that. Thank you.
yes. Last year, let me not divert. So, why was February chosen for Black History Month? Anyone?
It's something I've never come up to find out because I just assume that I know what it is, but I really do not know.
You assumed you.
He assumed that it was because it was the shortest month of the year.
That's right. That was
Uh-huh.
that was
So
that was my original thinking.
what about you, Dr. Crosland or Deborah? What about you? Ever thought about why
Oh,
February?
um, the other months were already taken for different, and then plus it was because of Abraham Lincoln's day to combine it. That's what I think. Something along those lines.
Okay. What about you, Deborah?
Debbie is unmute. She should unmute. Oh,
Well,
yeah, she's not with us.
okay,
Well,
Dr.
Ambassador
Cross.
Lisa, can I cheat? I checked it out. Can I cheat?
No, you can't. No. Oh,
Well, you know,
especially if you told me you cheated.
no, I'm not cheating. I said, can I cheat? I did not cheat. I'm asking if I can cheat because, you know, AI will tell you why.
Right. But I'm going to tell you why.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you had to know it off right off the hand. But
No,
February
I
was
did
chosen.
not.
February was chosen for Black History uh, because of Abraham Lincoln, as Reverend Pam said, and Frederick Douglass's birthdays. So
Yep.
they had a Negro History Week in 1926 to honor those two and to celebrate Black communities. And then as things most of the time go by way of, we took the week and we extended it to a month. So, but you will ask many people and they'll always say because they want to keep Black people and they gave us the shortest month, but that's not exactly why. It's February.
Okay. Are you still with us? Oh, Reverend Pam?
Yeah, I was sharing the screen to show that Ambassador Lisa, what happened to you? I know I know the rapture has not come, because if the rapture came, I will not be here.
She got missing in action. Ambassador Lisa,
All right, Niason, proceed.
whatever it is, let us continue. We could not get Debbie on the screen to say something, but all the same, we have to know that the celebration of Black History Month did not just come about accidentally. There was a man, Dr. Carter Godwin Woodson, who, along with his colleagues, institutionalized the teaching, study, dissemination, and commemoration of Black history as a subject because many people did not care about it, and they thought that as elites at that time, they should put together something which will become historical. And that said, the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, ASNLH, came alive in 1915 and formally said, oh, let's have African history or Black history celebrated in these United States of America. Usually, the president of the country signs a proclamation. I didn't see one for this week, but all the same, it is there. It has to be celebrated for whatever it is. This year is the 100th anniversary, as I said. So for the first time, the theme for this year is the founders of Black History Month, who are, of course, being honored because of what they did. And they urge us to explore the impact and meaning of Black history, because we cannot just hear people tell us who we are or what the Black person is. So that is that. And on February 10, 1976, President Gerald Ford became the first president to issue a message recognizing Black History Month as a day that should be celebrated countrywide, that is, throughout the United States. It is not a public holiday, but all the same, people celebrate in schools, in libraries, in public parks, and wherever they can gather to be able to say, yes, we are Black and we are proud. Ambassador Lisa, did she come back? I was running out of breath. It looks like everyone is lost in action.
She was back. I don't know what happened.
Yes. All right. Whatever it is, we have to celebrate it because it is the fifth. I mean, it is a national holiday, even though it is not a public holiday. But then, coming on the anniversary of the United States independence anniversary, the 250th anniversary, this is also very important. 100 years after it became, when it was institutionalized. So whatever it is, we have to celebrate Black History Month. And today we're emphasizing the inventors and inventions that we know or that come up every day, because many were not recognized and they are only being recognized these days. So whatever it is, we have to continue to keep the faith, pursue the cause, and fight the fight. Dr. Crosslin, I see you are still on with us. What is your take on Black History Month that we celebrate in February?
Oh, I think Her Excellency Ambassador Reverend Dr. Pam Fomenon for this platform, for Her Excellency Ambassador Prophetess Lisa, and to you, Professor Nielsen, to Miss Debbie McCormick, to the global audience, to Mr. Dr. Medical Doctor Joshua, if he's on the line or on his way or in his presence, if he listens to the replay, and to the global audience. I'd like to also honor Dr. Martin Luther King for all of his suffering, and to Miss Rosa Parks, whose hand I shook, to my mom, who is in heaven, for her sacrifices. But and to what's his name, Nelson Mandela, and to all those who went before us, and to the unsung heroes, and to all of us who are still leaving legacies, creating legacies, and are still writing history and making history, to Don Lemon, to Tyler Perry to Oprah Winfrey to President Obama to my husband, my family members and loved ones, and everybody who loves Black people. Hallelujah. I know Dr. Martin Luther King, he suffered. And I don't even think we understand the magnitude of his suffering. Now, Jesus suffered, and Jesus was perfect. And so Martin Luther King, from what I just found out a week ago, and I Googled it because I saw it on Facebook, somebody had said that Martin Luther King's brother got drowned. And I was like, oh my God. And his grandmother got shot while she was playing the organ in the church. And Martin Luther King blamed himself for that. Um, and it was just dark. And even Martin Luther King in his speech, he said he was tired. It was a real dark time for him. I mean, can y'all imagine? You know, people setting a person's house on fire and everything they was doing to that man. And it wasn't just the white people doing it to him either. And I think it was a Black person that shot him. Now, when I worked for LAPD, the one thing that made me leave that job and go to a different police department was Black on Black crime. And I've said it before that for somebody to shoot me more than once, Black people, wasn't white people that did this to me. It's not white people that I be having conflict with. I go to the supermarket and I have to fight for respect. So it's still happening today. So in order for us to get beyond that slavery mentality, that Black issue that we have to, like what Dr. Joshua say, deal with our fight or flight, deal with our mindset. And I don't take it personally if somebody says something. Dr. Joshua just texted me. He's working on something right now, infrastructure. But yeah, I have to deal with myself. And so, see, Martin Luther King, he didn't have that luxury to deal with himself because of the magnitude, the gravity of what he suffered. And so I thank God that my relationship with Christ helps me to deal with myself so that I don't think that everybody is against me or that Black people are no good. I don't think that at all. I have learned that I have to love myself first for who I am. It doesn't mean that other people are better than me if they have prettier hair or a higher degree and I've had people tell me things like, well, I think I'm so this or I think I'm so that. And white people are, like I told you guys before, a long time ago, they used to call the white people so suchy much. They used to act like they were so much better and weren't. And so I've learned myself through educating myself, through having relationships of trust, learning alignment, learning purpose, being in the Word of God, teaching myself, and then being a role model and trying to teach others and learning my Black history, being proud of my Black history, but most of all, being proud of Holy Spirit and not being ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Dr. Crossley. Yes,
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Crossley. You know, on this Black History Month, on behalf of Africa Online Media Corporation and all our sister organizations, I really, really want to honor all our Black brothers and sisters that are in the diaspora. especially in this country, United States of America. Without their sweat, without their suffering, we will not be here today. We are standing on their shoulders. Without them, we will not even have this platform. You mentioned Dr. Martin Luther King. I was honored not just to visit the King Center, but to be asked to pray at his graveside in Atlanta. I do have the video there. I'll see if I can put the link in the chat. And it was surreal. It was such a watershed moment. The eternal flame is there. It doesn't go out. And just to see the water that surrounds his tomb was breathtaking. And also, uh, His Excellency Ambassador Andrew Young, who worked closely with Dr. King, was with him the day he was shot. I also had the pleasure of meeting him in 2022, October. He was our Africa's Champion recipient. He was not in town during the event, but I met him after the event a few days later. And he welcomed me as if I was his long lost daughter. I will never forget it. Never. The way this man welcomed me, the way he hugged me and kissed me like I was a daughter that he lost, that he's been searching for. And it just tells you that we are truly one people. Unfortunately, our brothers and sisters were yanked from home 400 years ago against their will, but God is reuniting us. And we always have to remember that we are one people. So on this Black History Month, I want to encourage every Black person to find a new brother or sister and tell them how much they appreciate them and how much they love them, especially our brothers and sisters in this country. And for those our African brothers and sisters that still call our sisters and brothers in this country with derogatory names, stop it. I'm going to use one. I'm not even going to dignify by saying one of the names. You all know what it is. Stop using those names. They are our brothers and sisters. Don't call them any derogatory names. And for our brothers and sisters in this country who have ever looked down on our brothers and sisters from the continent, you got to stop it, because we are one people. When you are walking down the street, a policeman doesn't know whether you were born in this country or in Africa. They know they see a Black person until they hear you speak. When you go to Africa, you are walking down the street, you look like the brother or sister down the street. Nobody knows where you were born unless you open your mouth. So what binds us together is stronger than the little lies that have tried to separate us. So let's remember, especially on this first day of Black History Month, that we are one people and we have to treat each other as one family. Over to you, Niason.
That is why it is very important to continue to tell the story ourselves, not wait for them to tell us our story. Because if we don't tell our story, they'll tell it their own way, twisting it the way they want, and making sure that they don't tell us exactly what happened. As the United States celebrates its 250th anniversary of independence, we should also remember that 100 years of Black history is 100 years of telling and retelling and repeatedly retelling and telling, because we have to continue to let the world know that the Black person or the person who is not like you think is the person who is, because we have to be who we are, and we have to accept the fact that we are who we are, because our history is a contributing factor to the unity of the world. We cannot have the world just one-sided or one-colored. Well, God made it different with different colors, and we have to accept them. We have to be who we are and tell our story, because if we do not tell it, as I said, somebody will tell it their own way. So we should and must challenge efforts that are being made today to remove parts of that history from the history books. The schools are being told to drop certain books or to drop certain literature or to drop certain poems or whatever, because they don't want the truth to be told. But the truth is what makes us free and strong. So let us celebrate this Black History Month by knowing that its value is not only its contribution to the mainstream historical narratives of the United States, but it is also a contributory factor to the existence of humanity in general. So whatever we do, let us live our lives as a people born and brought up by the same God, created by the same God, and brought into the world to serve a purpose, the purpose of building or bringing about unity and ensuring that people live common lives, people share what they have in common and work together to make sure that tomorrow is better than yesterday. Whatever it is, we are moving on. And you had some inventors. Do you still have them, Reverend Pam? You wanted to mention them to us? Were you mentioning or just showing us the list? Wow, apparently I'm alone.
What did you say? You're not alone.
Yeah, I said you were trying to show us some of the inventors that you found in the history.
I already shared it.
Oh, okay, you shared it. Okay, I thought you had more to share.
No.
Okay, that being said, I see we lost a lot of our participants, and Debbie came on and disappeared, just like Ambassador Lisa, but whatever it is.
No, I think Ambassador Lisa is having connectivity issues.
Oh, okay. So let us just work our way through gradually and see how far we go with this history. I didn't come up with any list of inventors. I just know that I am here to coordinate this program, making sure that we have our say, making sure that
okay, let me pull up the list. Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on a second. No, keep talking. Let me look for that list again.
Okay. That being said, as I said earlier, there was Dr. Carter Godwin Woodson, who, along with his friends, George Cleveland Hall, William D. Hargrove, Jess E. Molan, Alexander L. Jackson, and James E. Stamps, came together and said, okay, let us have this day or this period celebrated because we need to emphasize the teaching, the study, and dissemination, as well as the commemoration of Black history, because we cannot be a people without a history. And that is how they came together and made this possible. This was back in 1925. And this year, this year marks the 100th anniversary that this was formally institutionalized. And then the Association for the Study of Negro History came together in 1925. And since then, they've made sure that they come together and tell us more about the history that we ought to know, that we should not forget, that we should never allow ourselves to forget, because if we forget, they will write it for us. And we should also resist temptations now, currently, for certain books to be withdrawn from school libraries or from public libraries just so that they hide the story. There should be no revisionism in our history. That is, the period for revisionists has passed, and it is time for us to move forward, holding our heads high and telling the world that, yes, there was and there is Black history which should not be forgotten.
Okay, Niasong, let me pull the screen. Let me show the list. Are you ready?
Yes, go ahead. Okay, there it comes.
Okay, so it says here, Black inventors have fundamentally shaped modern life through transformative innovations, ranging from essential infrastructure to medical advancements. Key pioneers include Garrett Morgan, the three-way traffic light, gas mask. I didn't know about the gas mask. Louis Latimer, carbon filament for light bulbs, and Dr. Charles Drew, blood bank. Can you believe that? This, along with innovators like Marie Van Britten, Brown, Home Security, and Elijah McCoy, Lubricating Corp, revolutionized daily safety, technology, and industry. Before we go any further, I also want to give a shout out to Dr. Vivian Thomas, whose headshot stands in the Hall of Fame at John Hopkins. We all saw the movie Something the Lord Made with what's that guy's name again? That actor. Anyway, just slipped me, you know. But he practically was responsible for the first heart transplant, even though the credit was given to the white doctor. But we all saw the movie, and he finally got his an honorary medical degree and what ended up being a professor of medicine. So the list goes here. There's Garrett Morgan, 1877 to 1963, patented the three positions traffic signal, improving road safety, and invented a smoke hood gas mask for firefighters. And the list goes on here, so I don't think it's necessary to read this list
No, it's
because
not. Yeah,
our viewers can read it, you know,
yeah, that's
online.
right.
But we just wanted to share it, but there's more. So I want to encourage everyone, you know, to learn this about these black inventors, and teach your children. Let them not just keep thinking that, oh, everything that they see was invented by non-black people. It's important to share that information so we know that all these things, you know, even there is this medical marvel. I showed that video on this program before, and I'll show it again maybe at the end of this month, where this villager was performing brain surgery. I never lost he did not lose a patient. So instinctively we are ingenious, and we have genial ideas as a people. We are very smart, we are very intelligent, and that's why we've been a threat to others with all the ongoing efforts in centuries to suppress our brain power. But now we are telling our own story so it doesn't become his story. Let's hear from Dr. Crossley.
She has to unmute.
Okay, excuse me for not being on camera right now. Um, so first, again, I'd like to say hello to the global audience. Thank you, Her Excellency, Dr. Pam Fomenong, and to you, Professor Niasan, and to all those who are joining us on the replay. In celebration of Black History Month, I have made inventions. I have made Black history. I have invented platforms, pathways, and represent Black people in ways. Um, just last week, standing in front of the Vice President of the United States, the only Black person with a crown on in the crowd. And when he looked out, he would see me every time he blinked his eye. He opened it. I'm right there. I was right there. All right. So yes, I was with the vice president a lot closer than we are here together. All right. We was breathing the same oxygen. And my personal inventions, I invented Life Stories with Dr. Gloria Crosland. It's a television uh, storytelling platform where I interviewed the first Black woman to interview a four-star general appointed by President Obama, I think he said, and it's on the YouTube. And my TV show elevates voices, preserves legacies, and tells real lived experiences of real people. Um, and I created Mr. DC and the Royal Ambassadors. The first winner was working at the White House for the President of the United States. Um, the pathways that I've made into media is astounding. Um, being in France with Magic Johnson, nobody else has done that. Um, Hanging out with Doug Williams, an NFL legend, talking to the late legendary Louis Gossett Jr. Uh, just amazing bringing him into our fold. Um, Dr. Josh Way, knowing all of you all. I've made Black history. I authored a book telling about my mom's landmark Supreme Court case where she fought, she suffered, fought, and won her landmark Supreme Court case against employment discrimination, which is studied in law books at Cornell Law School. I am also proud that I stand as one of the early Black women from my hometown to earn a doctorate degree in health administration back in the days when it was unpopular. And I suffered because those white nurses told me they was going to bring guns to school and that I couldn't come back there. The NAACP had to step in. So I know what it's like to be a very strong and proud Black woman. I'm the first Black senior woman to represent Virginia senior women in Mississippi. People were scared for me to go to Mississippi. And we're talking about in the 21st century. And I was scared too. And they still don't treat me right, but it's okay. I'm still going to represent what I believe in because I can't change the color of my skin.
You don't need to. Well, congratulations on all your accomplishments. Ambassador Lisa is back, so we're going to hand over to you. Nia Song, I'm going to be muted for about 15 minutes. Then I'll be back.
And one more thing. I stood on the same stage with the president of Liberia. And I love that. And so I am creating legacies. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, and welcome back, Ambassador Lisa.
I hope nothing
will happen again.
Yes. I had to keep turning everything off, leave it down. I don't know if it was the wind blowing, but I couldn't get back on my phone. I couldn't even make phone calls. It was telling me I couldn't make phone calls because I had no data service. But I'm back, and we are again talking about African American inventions this month. And we are certainly proud of our Dr. Crosland, who is Miss Senior World Virginia as an African American woman, her mother making history as well. And I missed what other parts that she shared while I was away. But talking about some of the inventions that we have created, we all know some things. We know the traffic light, we know the light bulb, the person who was working with Mr. Bell created the filaments for the light bulb. But, and we all know, or we all assume that the Wright brothers created and flew the first airplane. But do you know that there was a gentleman, his name was Charles Page out of Louisiana. He was born a slave in 1864. And in 1898, he created the first airplane. Not only did he create it, I mean, it wasn't a bicycle that you sit on and ride, that you put wings on. It was an actual full airplane. And he sent it off to the state fair, to the Louisiana Purchase Expedition, which was the St. Louis Fair. He shipped it by train, and he shipped it, I think it went by, let me see what I wrote. He went by rail, and he shipped it ahead of him. And when he got to St. Louis for the fair, his airplane did not arrive. And they've never, ever found it. He was very depressed afterwards. He used his entire life savings to build that airplane. But he got a patent for it. At least the patent was pending for it. So that was one of the reasons for his depression and his sadness. But they never found his plane, but his blueprints are at the Library of Congress, and you can see them, and you will see that it is an actual airplane. And the first helicopter was created by a Black gentleman as well. I didn't get I don't have his name right off the top of my head. I want to talk about some of the African American inventions that we don't normally talk about, some of the things we don't normally associate with us. As I said, we all know the light bulb and the traffic light and the ironing board, but do you know that the Murphy bed? Do you know what a Murphy bed is, Nia-san?
No, tell me.
A Murphy bed? How about you, Dr. Crosland? Do you know what a Murphy bed is?
I think you told us already, so I guess I'm a cheat. You said that it pulls out from the wall for those in the side of like a little apartment or something?
Yes, it is a bed that folds up in the wall. Usually the bottom of it looks like a desk. You can sit at a desk area, and then at night you pull it down because many apartments and a lot of rooms that people rented did not have big luxurious spaces that we have now for our bedrooms. Um, so they had these beds that were called Murphy beds, and it was created by a woman named Sarah Good, and she was the first Black woman to get a U.S. patent for the Murphy bed. Although years later, someone else came up and called it, well, she didn't call hers a Murphy bed. Hers was called a folding bed, but it's the same exact design as the Murphy bed. That's something that a Black woman created and got a U.S. patent for. Did you know about the electric chair? You would think that we wouldn't create things that would harm us. However, the first electric chair was created by a man named Alfred Southwark. I remember it because the school across the street from my high school was called Southwark. I wonder if it's named after him. But the first electric chair was invented by a Black man named Alfred P. Southwark. There are so many things that we have done, so many creations that we have created that we do not get the accolades, we do not get the patents for, we do not get the pride to be able to say, hey, my ancestors created this, or a Black person created this, because they were all taken and stolen away. One of the things I did want to share, now I did not get a chance to research that, so maybe I will not mention that one because I did not get a chance to research. That would just be my thoughts, and I'm not here to share our thoughts or my personal thoughts so that we as Africa Online do not get in trouble and we don't get our show pulled for disseminating incorrect information. Let's see, what else do I have on my list of things that we have created? The gas mask. I don't think I knew that one, but the same person who created the traffic lights, Garrett Morgan, created the gas masks. And I happened to be at an Army base in Phoenix last year, and he showed us some gas masks that were created for horses during World War II in Germany. I thought that was interesting. They didn't hardly have any for humans, but they had them for the horses. And I took some pictures. Some of the things that they had, they took part of the barracks and recreated it, even with the old bunks. They brought over the bricks from Germany. They brought over bricks from London to recreate this building as it was. And I thought that was pretty neat. It is 4:47. We are almost at the top of the hour. Actually,
Okay,
I'm
let me
going
just make a quick announcement, and then Ambassador Lisa, you and Nielsen can take it from there. Oh my God, Dr. Goji is on. That is amazing. So we welcome. Are you back in the country, Dr. Goji?
I'm back, yes.
Welcome
Awesome.
back.
Wow. So before Dr. Goji weighs in on Black History Month and Black inventions, and next week we're going to have our sister here talking about her book, Mission Beyond Diagnosis. It's a powerful book by a powerful Black nurse practitioner sharing her story as a mother, as a healthcare practitioner, raising children with disabilities. It's not a medical topic, but we are honoring it's Black History Month, and this book will transform everybody's life. I'll put the link in the chat box so you guys can read it. So we're going to be talking about Mission Beyond Diagnosis. That's the name of the book. Okay, I'm going to be muted. And Nia Song, Ambassador Lisa, I'll have to step away for the rest of the show, if that's okay. Hello?
Yes, we're here.
Ambassador Lisa, you are muted.
Dr. Ogoji, welcome back. I hope you do not bring all the snow that we've had.
So Ambassador Lisa, I'm gonna make you host, okay?
I know there's no snow in Africa, but I hope you didn't bring the heat. No, you should have brought the heat to warm the ground so the snow can melt.
The snow took away my bag. I lost one of my luggages.
Oh,
today.
Oh my
sorry.
goodness.
Sorry for that.
Mm.
But you're welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Ambassador.
Let's share with Dr. Goji some thoughts. Do you have any? Welcome back, Dr. Goji. It's good to see you. Do you have any Black history facts or Black history inventions? Know of any Black inventors that we don't typically know about?
Well, the one I remember very well was while I was in medical school. One of my surgeons told me about so many things that were developed in University of Ibadan, Nigeria. But those things were developed and designed by them. However, the Caucasians took credit of it. For instance, the first surgery to relieve obstruction of chronic ulcer in the stomach. You know, if you have a gastric ulcer or duodenal ulcer, it can become severe that it becomes the muscles of the stomach of the of the duodenum, which is the lower part of the. So you have the stomach, you have the small intestine. The part between the part that connects the stomach and the small intestine is called the duodenum. Also called, so that part of the GI tract, you can have ulcer in that area. You have ulcer for a long time. After years and years, it becomes obstructed. You start vomiting, and you lose it until you die. So that was designed and developed in Ibadan by one of my professors then.
Okay.
And they call it gastric outlet obstruction. But they wrote the books, designed it, and the white man rejected it so many years until finally the white man claimed credit of it, that they are the ones who did the surgery. It was done in Ibadan by a Black professor.
Wow, that's interesting. Very, and I am sure that there are many, many things that our brothers on the continent, our sisters on the continent have created that we do not know about as of yet. But I love, there's a brother, uh, hold on.
Are we together? Dr. Goji, go ahead.
No, I'm not.
Oh, I thought
So
you were
don't.
still, I thought you
No,
were still speaking.
no, I'm good.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, Maya. I don't know why the anthem just started playing. I hadn't even gotten over there yet, and it just started playing.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
As I was saying, I'm sure there are a lot of things that our brothers and sisters on the continent have created that we do not know about as of yet. I have a brother at my church, and we challenge each other every February, at least once a week, to find out an African American fact that we did not know about ahead of time. So it has been a little game that we've been playing for the last 3 years to try and find something that normally we don't know about other than what we got in school. Try to find something that we have not known about and share with each other so that we can continue to grow and to learn. Oh, this is one I want to share. How many people have security systems in their house?
We do.
Well, you do?
Yes,
Did
ma'am.
you know that it was a Black woman who created the very first alarm system, home security system? Her name was Maria von Bulen Brown. And she created the first security system, including the cameras, the microphones, and the whole shebang. Now, I don't know, we have ADT. I know that's one of the major home security systems. I don't know what they have down here as a major security system, but we do know ADT is a major system. But it was created by a Black woman as well. Our women have been doing tremendous things, not to take anything away from our brothers, but the men, they're doing awesome things as well, but the sisters have been racking up the inventions. Excuse me.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Yes. Let me see what else I have here on my notes, because I tried to go and look for some things that were not usual.
Oh, okay.
So can I hop in? So the
Yes, you.
cotton, So the cotton used to make early American cloth and thread was largely produced by enslaved people in the 18th century. So anything that was invented during slavery should be contributed to the hard work that the enslaved people produced. For example, the flag by Betsy Ross. It was the enslaved people that picked the cotton that made the cloth and the thread. Because back in those days, cotton was a major raw material in colonial textiles. So enslaved Africans were the primary labor force producing that cotton. Early American symbols and industries benefited, as I said, from enslaved labor. And so now what they got is they call it human trafficking. But you know what? Enslaved people was human trafficked. They need to just start right there.
That's
So
where they
y'all don't want
yes.
me to get started because I can preach. I mean, I love Black people. And so to be safe, I'm going to have to mute myself. Thank you so much.
Dr. President, but you are correct. Um, Everything that was invented, everything that was created, rather, was created by African American people. I saw a little clip, and this may be diverting just a little bit. I saw a clip yesterday of Minister Farrakhan, and he was having a conversation, and I guess a white person in the audience must have challenged him and said that they came first. And he kindly had to let the young boy know that two white people cannot make a Black baby. So the fact remains that two white people cannot make or create a person of another color. But in a Black person, we can create all shades. We can create a yellow skin, a brown skin, even a white baby if necessary because of our melanin in our skin. I thought that was an interesting point I wanted to share as well, considering we were talking about the creation or the invention of African Americans. So, as Dr. Carlton said, we created, or we're responsible for creating everything because we picked the cotton, and I like that. I like that thought that we were trafficked. We call them enslaved because it's so much more degrading to say enslaved than to say sex trafficked, because most sex trafficked victims, I assume, are of the lighter hue. We are almost at the top of the hour. It is 4:57, and we're going to move into our anthem, which was trying to play without me. Dr. Goji, did you go home?
Yeah, he was on vacation
I was gone for a month. I just came back on Sunday.
You were gone for a month?
Just came back on Sunday, yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you were able to travel safely. Let me see. Okay. We're going to move into our anthem. No, 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 that's not right.
Oh, Africa. Oh no. Africans, Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. If only you let us share. If you really want to know my history, please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us a wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us all unite behind Africa Online Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Hey, Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. All Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does, to identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. Education for everyone. If we believe prosperity for Africans. If we believe medical facilitation for Africans. If we believe stand up, Africa, yes, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Africa is a cradle of civilization, the motherland. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Jump on the Africa Online Miracle Jet. Don't be left behind. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Together we shall succeed. Together we will win. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. We are writing our own story, the truth, and we shall tell it to the world. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. No more lies, Africans own Africa.
No more lies.
Guys,
Okay.
go ahead, Nessa.
No, I was just going to say no more lies, Africa for Africans. And back to you.
Africans
Yeah.
for Africa and Africans own Africa. Regardless of what it looks like, it seems like we own Africa. So we are going to talk about what are we talking about? Our theme for next week. What is our subject, our topic for next week?
It's going to be Mission Beyond Diagnosis, a book by one of our former guests. She has that book and she'll be featuring on Sunday, to answer questions about the book. And as the Reverend Pam said, she will be our main guest that day, next Sunday.
Okay, wonderful. So we encourage you, if you can, order the book. It's Mission Beyond Diagnoses by Dr. Judith Foyabo.
Foyabo.
For you. Okay.
Foyabo.
Thank you, Nia Simons. I don't do very well with pronouncing
Yeah.
some of these names.
Yeah.
So, in order to ask questions and to have a good conversation and dialogue, let's get her book, read, so that we can come together and share and talk about her mission beyond diagnosis. Sounds like she got a diagnosis that said this was probably going to be the end. But because of her own self-education, her self-knowledge, her willingness to research and to study and be her own advocate, I'm believing that she has something to share and talk about in this book. Dear son, over to you.
Yes, I'll go back to Dr. Ogoji. So, how is the weather out there? Because down here, we have snow that has refused to melt for the past 1 week.
Well, I am in the inland northwest. The weather is not too bad.
Okay.
No snow, but we're in the 40s, 47, 50. So not too bad.
Good. All right. Welcome back, and get yourself ready to get back into the show as we go on. The last Sunday is still 2 weeks away, but we know that you're welcome back, and we welcome you, and we look forward to having you back on the show.
No problem.
That being said, we continue to talk about Black History Month, Black inventions. Any particular inventor that you wanted to highlight or to shine the light on, Dr. Ogoji? I know you mentioned one earlier. No, you're not. Yeah, you're muted.
You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So vaccination is also discovered by a Black patient. The vaccines we use, vaccines is you take antibodies. You take antibodies produced by certain organisms and inject in a human being to stimulate antibodies to protect that person from diseases. Before vaccines were discovered years back, women have 10 children, 15 children. Only about 2 or 3 will survive because of vaccine preventable diseases. With the discovery of vaccines, things changed that almost every child that was born will survive, unless they die of maybe motor vehicle accident or gunshot injury or things like that. So vaccine was discovered by a Black man who was working in a laboratory where he took serum or blood from people suffering from measles or chickenpox and inject to other patients and they get healed. And when it was discovered, again, the white man took credit for that.
Yes, of course they did.
That is
Just
why
like
it becomes very important for us to tell our story ourselves.
to tell it.
Because
That's
when we
right.
leave it to them, they revert it to themselves and they leave us in the dark.
And they're so terrified. And I'm not going to go there. Anyway, there was something else I wanted to share about Garrett Morgan, the one who created the gas mask, and he created it for firemen, for first responders going into fires. But he also taught himself needlework. And he was trying to create something that would polish the needles when he accidentally discovered a chemical that was used for hair products and for hair straightening. We often credit Madam C.J. Walker with the creation of hair care products and straightenings and the iron straightening comb and things like that. And she was one of the first Black millionaires. But a lot of times you're creating things to do a certain thing and you find out that it does something else. So he accidentally created a chemical that would straighten hair. I wonder if it was perms. It didn't say it was called a perm, but he created a product that straightened hair as well. Let's see, something else that we might not know about. There was a
Somebody,
first airport. Let me see if I can find that information while we are chatting along. Welcome back, Reverend Pam.
Thank you.
I had a piece of information that I was waiting to share with my brother, waiting for February to come so I could be the first to share. And now I cannot locate where I put it. So that may be about it. Of course, we know that the inventions, if you've ever seen the list that has been circulated around social media, you know that there is a list that is hundreds of inventions by African Americans. As Reverend Pam said earlier, research some things. The very thing that you use on a normal, everyday basis, just stop for a second and say, wonder who created this blush brush? Who created the brush for foundation? And see who, and then do a little research. We have got to educate ourselves because if we don't, somebody will take away our history, and in a generation or two, there will be none. And our children now are born into a society where they don't know the encyclopedia, the book, the set of books, the 12 or 15 books where you had to research. And when you wanted to research something for school, you had to go actually to the library. Now they can just sit at home and look on their phone. So we encourage you to get off of TikTok, get off of Instagram, stop looking at those reels, and begin to see what your ancestors have created that you can be proud of. And I know that sounds like my last word on the subject, but I'm going to have to come up with something else because that is Nia Sung's job.
Okay, I hear you. So it's time for that. So I'll just hook up with that and start with, as usual, Dr. Crossling. Over to you for your last word as we wrap up today.
Yeah, I would like to thank, in her absence, Dr. Kizzy Corbett, who who went with my girlfriend to get her vaccine. She created that Moderna vaccine. Her and Dr. Fauci went with my girlfriend, and I posted it on Facebook when they were on MSNBC. Black lady, they all black and all that. And yeah, so I thank God for that invention and all my friends and all of you all who are still making history and everything that you guys are doing to make this world a better place. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ogoji. It is a pleasure that you came back and you found time to be on the program today. We're talking about Black history in general, but emphasis on Black inventions today.
See how fresh Dr. Ogoji looks. You see what home does? There's no place like home.
He looks very fresh. So, Dr. Ogoji, your last word.
Yeah. So, civilization started in Africa, we know that. Human beings started in Africa, we know that. When you migrate from Africa and move northward towards the north, or your color changes from dark to light and light until you become albino. So all I would say is that there are a lot of discovery that Africans made. Unfortunately, we didn't write the books. And that's what I say, if you don't tell your story, people will tell your story for you the way that fits them. And that's why things like we look at the world map. When we look at the world map, Africa looks one of the smallest continents, but it's bigger than all the continents in the whole world because that's what matters to them. So coming to that, I would say in medicine, the Black people have done a lot of discovery in medicine. All these almost all the pharmacotherapies, those the pills and chemicals we take, all came from herbs, or let me call it America's herbs. So all those things, we take the roots, the tree barks, the moringa, the teas, all those things have medicinal value that were just refined by the white men and called it medicine for us. And of course, we have to seal up to try and do our own um, industrialization of our practices. Because trust me, until tomorrow, I see the things I see in Africa are beyond my comprehension. Somebody have a fracture, I'm not a fractured femur that they will say it cannot be healed. They'll take them to a local orthopedics lady who never went to school. She'll use wood and splint them and stabilize them. After 6 months, after 2 or 3 weeks, after 2 to 3 months, that person will get up and walk away. So we just need to refine our process, make studies, write our own stories, be our own gatekeeper, and then try to turn the clock around. As I said before, just like in the US, the best you can do the best research in a university like Harvard, an African Harvard. It will not make the news if that research comes from University of Washington. Same thing. You can make the best discovery in Cameroon, Nigeria. So far as it's come from that area, we are all jokers. Nobody will give a doubt about it. But if it comes from Boston or from Harvard or from one of the big Ivy Leagues, they say all of a sudden it becomes a big deal. So until we get up and tell our own stories, I know that we are smarter than most people around us. And don't be deceived. We are smarter than most people around us because they make us feel inferior is part of the slave mentality. So I can go on and go on and go on. I think the black brain, if we're primed, we do the right things, we're going to take over the world. That's the goal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ogoje. Ambassador Lisa, I know you had shared part of your last word, but you always have something to say. So add something to what you already said.
I just want to piggyback on Dr. Agoji and remind you that our brain is smarter. You are capable of so much, my young, beautiful Nubian brothers and sisters. You are capable of so much greatness. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not, that you're capable, you're not capable, that you can't learn this because you can. You can do great exploits because of what has been put on the inside of you. Study, prepare yourself. The future is ours. If you are willing to put in a little bit of work, you will reap the rewards. So get a book, put Instagram down, put TikTok down. Stop wasting your brain cells, killing off your brain cells with nonsense. That stuff is addictive. If you just put it down for 1 hour and then research one thing and then educate yourself, you will be so much powerful. You can do things and invent things at 13. I was just reading about one doctor who created the Manhattan Project here. He went to University of Chicago at 13, and got his PhD at 19. And he wrote more than 100 scientific papers and help recruit minorities into science. 13. Don't say, oh, I'm 13, I'm just a teenager, and adulting is coming later. But at 13, there is such greatness on the inside of you. Parents, I encourage you to stir up the gift that is inside of your children. Stir it up, encourage them to sit down and read a book. Yes, there's time for entertainment and play, but we're talking about our lives and our futures. And as you can see by our current administration, they are trying to erase us and our history, and we cannot allow that. So pick up a book, learn something, invent something, and be somebody that will change the world in your near future, in your generation, and in the generations to come. In the meantime, you can find Africa Online right here, talking about a variety of topics that benefit you, the African on the continent, and those of us here in the diaspora. Join us every Sunday from 4 to 5:30-ish, where we will be right here talking about the things that interest you, that help develop you, help encourage you. Find us on YouTube and or Facebook. Like us and subscribe. See you next Sunday.
Thank you very much. And we turn now to the chair of Africa Online Media Corporation, Reverend Pam. Your last word as well.
So my last word will be this video. Dr. Goji, I want to hear what you say about it. I don't know if you've seen it before, but I've shared it on this program before. It's not long. It's just 7 minutes. Let's watch it. We still have time. This is real. Let's watch it. This is going to confirm how smart we are. Let me share the, oh God, why did this thing, hold on. I want to share the sound. Our people need to know this. Our people need to know this. Watch.
They follow a twisting, winding path up the hill on an expedition to find the man who they believe holds the answers to their problems. This the last resort for some. Those who live to tell the tale bear telltale scars. The marks are the handiwork of the man many here call the surgeon, a title that was not bestowed upon him by a school of medicine. But if experience counts for anything, then Komen Kiriebetich has certainly earned it. Maureen's face reflects her turmoil. A mother of two with another baby on the way, her young family depends heavily on her. Her illness has hit them hard. Maureen fell ill after a neighbor struck her.
Mamba yangu waliingia kwa shamba, si wakula ni ndengu, labuya kuja tu akakuja kunipamia kwa nyumba.
The arrival of Komen, who will be operating on Maureen today, drives home the fact that her fate hangs in the balance. For her, he came down from the hill, making the shade under the mango tree outside Maureen's homestead his operating theatre. She hesitates for a moment. And then the moment is past. There can be no turning back now. The surgeon is in the house, and she submits to his ministrations. Komen follows a routine he has perfected through years of practice, unwrapping tools that he has used countless times and immersing them in a bucket of water. He cleaned them the last time he used them.
Maji lapo ana lete spirit na sabesa dana was spirit.
But one can't be too careful. He uses lidocaine, a local anesthetic, to numb the area.
Dawa tanua kwa chemistry alafu nasaidia watu. Sindano tanua kwa chemistry mara sangini naomba kwa hospitali.
It is hardly enough given the task ahead, but it will have to do. And then with a steady hand, Komen makes the first cut down the side of Maureen's head. Maureen's family members will have to step in to hold her down as he continues. It is more painful than she imagined. Komen has determined that the cause of the problem is a blood clot on Maureen's head where she was hit. His plan is to remove the clot. The procedure is finally done after what feels like an excessively long time. In reality, it is probably record time for a procedure of this kind. There will be no hospital ward for the patient. She will recover at home, but before she departs. For this service, Maureen will pay between 2,000 and 3,000 shillings, or the equivalent in livestock if her family can afford it.
Kama mbuzi, kama kuna besa, yani pesa sangini mbatuta shule inachukua pesa.
If all goes well, she will join the league of locals who have passed through the hands of the traditional doctor without further incident. There are at least 13 traditional surgeons practicing all over Tot, deep in Elgeyo Marakwet.
Wasee samani ile anaenda hii kazi ya bundi. Mimi napata hawa na kuona mpaka wasee na kwa msee.
Even after healthcare centers and dispensaries were established, locals still continued to visit the surgeons. The Tot District Hospital often sees patients seeking anti-tetanus jabs, though medics here do not like the idea of operations carried out in the open.
He's exposing himself to so many risks, especially getting infections from the same patient that he's attending to.
Also the issues of the equipments they are using. They may not be using the right equipments.
The hospital cannot offer other options. The Tot Sub-County Hospital does not have facilities to undertake major operations. Those in need of these operations therefore have to travel over 200 kilometers to get to the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Eldoret, and here they are likely to find medical fees that are out of their reach.
Pahali tunaweza wasaidia ni ya kwamba hospitali kuna ambulance ambayo inaweza kapeleka ule patient kwa hospitali ambayo iliyo karibu kwingine ambayo itaweza kumsaidia.
Komen, like others here, is licensed to practice alternative medicine. The practice of traditional surgery here, it appears, is not about to go away. Already, Komen's son is following in his footsteps. After every operation, the surgeon will chant a prayer over his patient. Seeking divine intervention, visiting the traditional surgeon is fraught with risk. For many here, it is a last resort. They take the chance against the odds.
Mungu nachukua ile nachukua. Gini napona.
Niko na imani nikopeletiwa kichwa nitapona.
And those who live to tell the tale will forever carry the telltale scars of their encounter with a village surgeon. Wilkis Anyabo for Citizen TV in Elgeyo Marakwet.
Is that
Okay.
it?
Yeah, just a minute. Did you guys recognize that name, Maraket? Did any of you recognize it?
No.
That was one of the villages that submitted water. Maraket, you know, those women, remember the women that had to go get water and they were fighting with animals, and the guy was complaining because the one time he had to go get water, he fell and broke his teeth. I actually asked our country rep is from Maraket. I sent this video to him. He said, yes, that's his village. So before we go near song, we have just 2 minutes. Dr. Ogoji, what is your take? You're a medical doctor. This just goes to show how smart we are. This is a surgeon in the village who did not receive any medical training, has successfully done multiple, at least 13 brain surgeries. And Dr. Ogoji.
So my take in this is brain surgeries are not cheap. That's one.
Yeah.
If somebody have a head trauma and there's a blood clot in the skull, the only way to get better is to take out the clot by a neurosurgeon. If you live in a small town like this, you may have to travel like 200 miles to get it done. If you cannot travel, you die slowly, and that will be it.
Even if you travel, you have to have the money to pay for it.
You have to have the money. So I would say those who go there for treatment probably cannot afford conventional medicine. So if he sees 10 people and save the life of 5, he's done great. So that's my take. That's why I keep on saying, people talk about, I used to be very, very angry about some of our pastors who claim to heal everything.
Oh, please.
But when they go to Germany and London to get treatment.
Exactly.
When I raised arguments in Nigeria one time, for a long time, my brother, who's the priest, said, "Doc, stop saying that. These people cannot afford to go to Germany like Pastor this. They cannot afford to go to Ibadan like Pastor this. They cannot afford to go to a city like this pastor. Their only hope is prayer. If God heals them, they should take it." So what am I saying? If I have brain tumor in my brain and I cannot afford to pay a surgeon, and I'm going to die either way, and this local guy take a small knife and cut my brain, take out the thing and survive it, I'll be grateful.
But to be honest with you, it looks like his records he's not losing patience. He's successful.
Yeah,
From
he's
what
successful, sure. But again, as we know, he must lose some patience, just like the surgeons too. Not just 100% effective. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Niason, you just stepped away, but that goes to show before Big Pharma came to Africa, like you were saying, our people were making medicines from scratch, from backs of trees and for herbs. So Niason, over to you. I just had to share that.
Yeah, before we go to Nielsen, I just want to share, in that video, he was saying that he charges, well, I believe it was 1,500 to 2,000 shillings. 2,000 shillings in Kenya shillings is $15. So
see?
you're getting a brain surgery for $15.
Thank you for that, because I'm not familiar with shillings. I have to look it up.
Yes. And now if it was Uganda shillings, which we know it was Kenya because they were there by
Maraket.
Yes, and I know Eldoret is in Kenya, but if it was Ugandan shillings, 2,000 shillings is only 56 cents.
They have different values?
Well, you have two different countries. You have Kenya and you have Uganda, but they both use shillings, but there's different value. Yes.
Oh. Okay.
So right now the Kenyan shilling is up very high. So this would be a time that if I was going to send money to Kenya, this is the time for me to send it because I'm going to get way more for my exchange rate than normal.
All right, Niason, thank you.
Niason.
All right. Thank you very much, team, for everything for today. It's been a pleasure, and please, I have to devote my Monday and the whole of next week trying to see if I can dig the snow away from my car because my car is grounded. My car is actually buried in snow, and the snow has thickened so much so that I need instruments to dig. All the same, thank you all very much. Have a blessed week, and we'll see you again on Sunday, the 8th day of February. Dr. Ogoji, welcome back.
Dr. Ogoji, you're welcome. We missed you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Ambassador Lisa, can you end the